Good morning, everyone, I should say, but there are a bit less people than I actually have said that they were going to come. But of my 5 colleagues, 2 are at home sick, so I guess there are many people sick these times. But for you who are here, warmly welcome to Chalmers Village for Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And today the topic, how to successfully pitch your business idea to investors, with Elisabet Ehn, who is going to introduce you, or not introduce you, because most of you already know a lot about this topic, but you also, I think, have the feeling we even have to be even better at this. And to learn from is absolutely the best to learn if you're going to be successful to the target group, to know the target group, and to be learned from the target group from a business angel is absolutely optimal, we thought when we invited Elisabet Ehn, who's also, like you said this morning when we met, I feel like at home in this building. Because you also went, of course, to Chalmers School of Entrepreneurship as well, a couple of years ago. But you're actually such much Chalmers ambassador that you today live at Chalmersgatan in Gothenburg. Isn't that good? So you have a target to reach, all of you here. But I'm passionate about sustainability, it says when you go into your LinkedIn profile and read about you and what you are working for. And that's exactly what we are doing here at Chalmers Entrepreneurship Village as well. We think sustainable entrepreneurship is so important. And therefore, we are very happy to welcome you, Elisabet, on the stage to inspire us for about half an hour here to get us a morning boost in how to pitch successfully to the investors. So warmly welcome, Elisabet.
Thank you. So, how to successfully pitch to investors? It's a kind of big topic, I would say. And for some reason, you're all sitting here today because that topic interests you. And maybe even more so in this challenging times that we are now in, where entrepreneurs face a challenging investment climate out there. So really make sure that your pitch stands out is more crucial than ever, I would say. I wear the glass of the investor. So that's really the perspective that I want to give you today. And investors really have a short attention span. They are faced with so many potential business ideas that they could invest in. So you really need to make it easy for them to grasp what makes you unique, what's your story. And I would like to start off with this session with something with, okay. Oh, here we go. So I would like to start off this session with a quite famous quote. At the end of the day, people won't remember what you said or what you did. It's how you made them feel. I think we all can relate to that. In different situations that we have been throughout our life, where you have been so angry and been a quarrel with someone. And then when someone asks you, what was the argument? I don't remember, but I was so angry. Or, oh, I was, having been in a more positive situation. You can ride on that positive feeling for a very long time, and the details of what happened will fade away. So when you pitch to investors, what is the ultimate feeling that you want them to have? FOMO, right? You want to have sort of created feelings that will in the end lead to the ultimate feeling that investors hate to sit with or want to sit with, but at the same time really need to act on. It's the fear of missing out on a great business opportunity. And all investors throughout their career have experienced a real case scenario where they missed out on that really big potential, that business case that was the next Spotify or whatever, in their opinion. And they will never ever want to experience that again. But it's your job to make them feel that. And how do you do that? Well, you create a capturing story in your pitch. And that story will lead to the investor wanting to know more about you. You shouldn't tell them everything about your company, but they will want to know more about your company and you as an entrepreneur. And eventually, if you manage that, then that will accelerate the investment decision. I've experienced FOMO myself. And let me tell you, it's a very powerful feeling where I more or less mentally said yes to investment without doing any due diligence. I didn't tell the entrepreneur, but it was a yes in my head. And that speeded up the process for me so much. And as you all know, if you've been fundraising, it takes time. So it's your job to really make it easy for them to grasp your unique story. So what is the recipe then? I mean, based on what I said now, it's quite obvious, right? It's to tell a memorable and emotionally triggering story about your startup. So today I want to share 10 tips that I will hope inspire you and help you create your story about your company that you will share and tell to investors. So tip number 1, every scene setting of a great story start with grounding the investor in a problem that they can connect with. It should be a problem that affects many, either many companies, many consumers, or people around the world, or societies, or the climate, for example, or our environment. Something that affects a lot of people. And if that is a self-experienced problem, or someone close to you, that makes it really powerful as well. So if you have that storytelling element of you, why you came into this, that is really powerful, you should tell that. And that problem that you're portraying, it should really come out as really important for those who face that problem. And it has to be urgent. You have to create that urgency because there's so many problems around the world to solve, right? So why is it so urgent to solve this problem? And last but not least, really bear in mind that it has to be really easy to grasp. In the pitch world, we talk about grandpa or grandma testing, and what that basically means is that the problem or the solution that you're presenting, it has to be so high level and easy to grasp for someone who's not in your industry. And if it's not, sorry to say, the investor will zoom out in seconds, even though they're sitting right in front of you, but mentally they're somewhere else. So really make sure that don't happen to you. So when you have sort of set the scene with this problem that the investor has emotionally connected with, then you present the obvious solution to that problem. So with that scene setting of that problem, of course, this is the way to solve this problem. I see so many entrepreneurs who just jump into the solution. We have the best solution for blah, blah, blah. Okay, but hang on. Why should I care about this solution if I don't know the underlying problem that you're solving, right? So this is something I always start off with, and storytelling is about building up that story, right? And investors also need to feel and know what your vision of the future is. What's the great impact that you will have in this world? It's not we want to become the market leader in market X. It's obvious if you're ambitious that that's what we want, right? So it has to be something that they feel is a journey that they want to be a part of and that they want their money to contribute to, the greater cause here. For example, if a client of mine, a green tech company, in their vision of the future, everyone lives in a sustainable home. And what that is has so many layers, but in their pitch, they're really good at conveying that. And for example, if you're a life science company, in your vision of the future, if that is that no one will die from ALS, right? It's a disease that you can live with, then it's a huge cause that someone can emotionally connect with and say, yes, I want to contribute to that. I want to see this happen. early on in your development, then that is super powerful. So really convey that. Someone calls it a vision statement, but really it's about, in words, portraying how you will make an impact. And once you've done that, really make sure that you claim your unique position in the market. Make them feel confident that you will be the winner in this market in the future. You're the right bet. Because if you've sort of teased them into really being interested in your space, that's great. But if you haven't convinced them of that you're the right bet, then they will go out and look for other companies, competitors, competitive solutions or technologies that they believe for some reason will be the winning bet. So really, really make that obvious, your uniqueness. Really make that show. And in the storytelling, show proof, real proof, why it's such a perfect timing to invest in this space. Is it because there are trends right now that create a new need or a shift in need? Is there legislation that creates a new opportunity in the market? Is there something game-changing happening right now in the world that it's undeniably happening? For example, in the AI space or something that sets the scene for creating new opportunities? Or is it just some basic changes in the market condition? Inflation, whatever, soaring energy prices. Is there something fundamentally shifting in the market now that creates an opportunity? Or is it the impact of climate change, right? We all live in this world. We're all affected by that. So how can you, for example, companies sitting in this house or connected to Chalmers, obviously most of you guys will have a clear connection to climate change in some way. And something that I also see early or not investors, but entrepreneurs really don't get is that it's not only about the business idea, it's about you, the entrepreneur. You are equally a part of the equation of making this vision of the future a reality or this company a success. And I see so many times that, look at this great business idea. Yes, I see that great opportunity. But you're not selling yourself. You're not conveying why you're the right fit to run this company. So you as an entrepreneur or your closest team that is working on this, really make sure that you show your ability to create results in a short time. And that is about, what does that actually mean? It could be about your skill sets, having the right skill sets in your team. It could be about the strengths that you have, if you have an extensive network that is really important in this market, or something else. Or it could be achievements that you have done in a really short time. So really frame in the timeline of what has happened in this company's story, really emphasize that you've done things really fast, Make them feel that. You don't have to say we've done it fast, but really, make them feel that, convince them of that in your way of communicating. And with that said, it's not about only the business idea, but you as an entrepreneur, really make sure that you convey in your own personal style your passion for the problem you're trying to solve. And I usually say that you can see in the eyes if someone is passionate about something. And passion comes within, and it's something that will fuel you over time when you go through the hardships of being an entrepreneur, because it's ups and downs, on a daily basis. And there has to be an underlying passion for doing what you're doing, because if not, you will not have the energy and the stamina, the grit to do this over time. And when investors invest in entrepreneurs, they expect you to at least be committed to this business idea for 5 to 7 years, even 10. They want to feel that you're willing to spend maybe even your whole life doing this, contribute to this bigger cause, the vision of the future. So really, convey that passion in some way. And for some people, it's a bit of a reflection to think about what that means to me. How do I convey my passion? And of course, you need to present a viable business model, right? And there has to be a strategic master plan in place. Depending on the stage where you're in, it's either about your go-to-market strategy or your rollout strategy if you're a more mature company, right? So really hold the investor in the hand and make the investor feel confident that you've already figured out your plan here. I only need the money for it, maybe something else. I mean, I want to like you as an investor, of course, and hopefully you will add on other values as well to help us grow into this vision of the future. But really show them that you have a plan, because you're the one running it, right? So show leadership in that. And do whatever you can to de-risk the case. There's so many things that you can put into your story that will help investors de-risk the case. Because they're always looking for no's or red flags in your case. It's easier that way. And then you can say, oh no, because of that, I cannot invest. So really put out everything in your case that will de-risk it from a risk perspective. Because it is risky to invest in early stage companies. Let's face it, it is. Not all companies will succeed. But most investors want to invest in companies that had a huge potential if they succeed, right? So what could that be that you could do actively to de-risk your case? It could be waving into your story or commercial traction, anything from LOIs, letter of intents, to successful pilots, commercial contracts, actual revenue, if you have that. It could also be showing that big market. And that market should be based on your data or your business model, the bottom-up approach. And that market, even though if you just slice 1% of that market, it should be a good enough business opportunity to grab that. Because no one will, if it's not a monopoly in the world, worldwide, will have 100% of a total addressable market. That doesn't happen. So that's really important too. And really also think about how you can wave into your story third-party praise in some way. Is there a quote from a customer that you could add into your story? Or is it any awards that you could just put in there? Something that just, whatever, something that really praises you. And of course, in this world, not this world, but here at Chalmers, I know it's a lot about patents. It's great that you're filing a lot of patents, but for me, if that patent isn't approved yet, there's still a lot of risk in it. So really think about how you frame that. Approved patents is what matters, right? And there are different certification or approvals as well that you need to be able to operate in your specific market. So if you don't have them yet, make sure you put it in, you have a plan for when you will get it, right? And your team capabilities, we have talked a little bit about that earlier, and really, make me feel like you have the right team in place here. And if we don't, I have a clear plan for how we will get those people on board. And financial commitments from existing investors, if you have them on board already, it's super critical in this market. Because if your existing investors don't believe in your plan for how you will grow this company, then I can assure you, no one will buy into your case. And with that money that you plan to get on board with your investors, they need to feel safe and secure with the fact that you will reach certain milestones that will raise the value of this company during a time period of maybe 12, 18, 24 months or so. So that's how you could actively de-risk your case. And last but not least, show with your projections your route to revenue and eventually your route to profitability, right? Because the sustainability aspects also needs to align on this as well. You need to be able to create a sustainable company financially as well. And especially in this challenging financial market we're in now, you really need to find that route as fast as possible. And I understand that a lot of you is very deep tech companies here. So for you guys in general, I think it's about finding your route to revenue. That's a starting point. So with that said, I hope I have inspired you today to tell your story about your company, and good luck with your fundraising activities. Thank you.